Hi guys, welcome back to Ghost of Sparta. Sorry again for the delay. So, first of all, we are in the caldera and we're on our way to Sparta. And we've got to go the very long, out of the way, really just far out path just to get back. But we're in a nice hellish looking area, which is common for God of War. And we got some nuisance enemies returning here, which I just don't like fighting on here. These Scylla broods. They seem to be a lot more annoying when you can't just one-shot them. Especially as their projectile move can do a little bit of damage if you don't catch them in your blades. But luckily, it seems as though Kratos' blades seem to double in range when you're hanging from the wall or the ceiling. I mean. So we've got some more swinging here, which is just quite easy to actually kill yourself in one shot, really. So sometimes it's better to take those areas a bit slower. And we got the new kind of destructible there, the I think stalactites or stalagmites, I'm not sure which one's which. And we've got these enemies now, which I'm not too fond of. It'd be nice if they didn't just keep dive bombing all the time. And they probably one of the more annoying enemies on the higher difficulties as well, because them hitting you, forcing you to actually fall on the ground is quite a nuisance. But the upside is you can one-shot them. But when you've got other enemies on your case, it's just trying to get rid of these guys as soon as possible. So we've got a new kind of door here, but fortunately we can't interact with it any further at the moment. And if we head over here, we can inspect this door, and it needs a special kind of key, which that dude is holding.
You there! Stay away from that!
And it's even more obvious by him, so it's a pretty hard thing to miss. But if we got here, we can have a chat with a Titan.
I will destroy my work.
It has been long since our kind waited for the one destined to free us. Gaia foretold of our salvation, Ghost of Sparta.
I have not come here for you or your kind.
Do not be so naive, Kratos. Your path led you to me. You need my help.
I need nothing from you, Thera.
If you do not free me, then you will share my fate. You will die here with me. Free me. Free me and my power will be yours. Without it, we will both remain prisoners of our torments. Free me.
So, by doing this now, we can get one of the more interesting power-ups of the game, Thera's Bane, which I do actually quite enjoy, and it would have been nice if they would have turned up again in a different game. So you want to just run out here as quick as possible. But with this Thera's Bane, we can do some new things now. The first thing is we can actually attack this automaton, and unless the blades are actually imbued with the Thera's Bane, they'll just deflect off. And every time you finish a combo, it'll always plant the explosive charge if you hit an enemy with the last bit of the combo, or if you parry an attack whilst using Thera's Bane. And it's incredibly useful, and probably half breaks the game, I'd say, if you just spam it constantly. Because the fact it can stumble even the largest enemies is incredibly useful. But we're at a disadvantage at the moment because it's not that powerful yet, and the meter just runs out incredibly quickly. So, as you can see, I'm usually able to pull off one plume of Prometheus before it does run out. And I believe if it runs out, it takes longer to charge up than if you would just leave a little bit at the end. But all you gotta do is just keep repeating the same thing on this guy, and he'll go down soon enough. There we go. So it's also a key, and it's only a one-time use thing as well. So as you can probably imagine, we'll be meeting more of these guys. And now as well, we'll be fighting to mainly upgrade Thera's Bane and the blades, just because they're the most useful thing you could possibly use. And having the faster regeneration on the Thera's Bane is incredibly useful. And it also means we can open up that door we couldn't open beforehand. So they've built these cool things, but unfortunately we're going to destroy them. And I got a bit stupid here and thought it was going to explode. But I remembered I just need to keep hitting it. There'll start being quite a few more armoured enemies now, just standard ones, so like Cyclopses, Minotaurs, even just normal guys and shields and things. So at least our Thera's Bane will be getting used abundantly. And with this we charge it up. And we get some red orbs for our trouble as well, which is always nice. And we've got another one of these quick time jumps. And we're met with some armoured Minotaurs, I believe. No, these ones aren't armoured. It took me a second to try and see, but you should always just be hitting it anyway. And using Thera's Bane. I always seem to get into a bit of a thing where once I've got the upgrade, I seem to keep using it, and I forget you can just use the blades normally. But it takes down the Minotaurs so much more quickly. And even if you manage just to put a charge on one of them, it'll stun the other one if it's next to him. And now with the birds we got a slightly harder time of this. But they go down quick enough. That's just the Minotaur. I think on hard mode this is one of the smaller arenas I have trouble with. And that's that part done. So, pull in this now, unload a bunch of water, which will give us a nice makeshift platform over the lava, magma stuff, and then, but this won't last forever. And we also, I believe, get to deal with some enemies. Yes, some broods. We can just one button away. And this reason too difficult. I mean, the area we're supposed to jump in is pretty self-explanatory. I can also hear the sound of a save point in the distance, which we'll probably want to use. And we get ourselves the first kind of upgrade for Thera's Bane, the Minotaur horn. Even though we've killed a bunch of Minotaurs already, they're still not good enough, so specially placed ones in chest will have to do. And we've got another one of these to break. And we can finally head up there now. I believe I was blocking the path. And they're just throwing chests and whatnot at us at the moment. But we don't need any of that, so we can just break down this nice door first. And that chest actually did seem pretty easily missable there. And now, there's some more sidling to do before we get reintroduced to an old friend of ours. It's Scylla again. And this time we get to stab her repeatedly in the face. Even more so than before. And you get to do this a couple of times, but it's not really that bad. It's over pretty quickly. And we can finally put Scylla down. Quite violently. Oh lovely, it's still trying to turn. So, by the looks of it, this volcano's starting to crumble. But before we start climbing, we can come down here for even more chests. And here's where the L1 and square move becomes useful. These enemies can't block, so you can seriously just do them in very quickly there. It's not a move I use often, what with it being able to get blocked by most enemies. But we get our first full upgrade to our health. Doesn't look like much on the smaller PlayStation portable resolution sized health bar. Here we've got some other quick deaths here. You can manage it. It's quite easy to do, like I nearly did there. And again we got another one of these, and now we're timed a bit. As everything is actually starting to fall apart even more. And I now think this is... Nope, not this part, the next bit of here coming up. It's a bit of a nuisance. There we go. As we climb, things will fall. I'll try and jump out the way, but I'll get hit most of the time. As when you get to a certain point, it only comes from one side. I don't know why, I'm just terrible at trying to avoid these things. Apart from this one there, which I'm not sure how to actually dodge.
The battle with Scylla had shaken the very foundation of Poseidon's kingdom. Atlantis was sinking. But that mattered little to the ghost of Sparta.
So, we climbed out of a volcano and we completely and utterly wrecked Atlantis. Good job, Kratos, and I'll see you next time as we travel around Crete some more.